We've got MAC football, Bowling Green, and CMU. And those tailgate parties are starting to wind down, and pretty soon we're going to have a very important football game inside here with Bowling Green coming to Central Michigan. We welcome you inside Kelly Short Stadium. I'm Dan Gutowski along with former Penn State tight end Adam Bredeman. Adam, both of these teams coming in off of very important wins last week.
Yeah, they both have a ton of confidence right now, and I'm fired up for this game because it's good on good, strength on strength. Both teams are going to run the football, control the tempo of the game, and try to play really good defense. It's got all the makings for a game to come down to the fourth quarter.
What is really good right now for Bowling Green is their defensive line. They were very good against Miami last week.
Man, this Bowling Green defense is fun to watch. There's two ways to measure a really good defense. It's how hard they run to the football and how well they get after the quarterback. For them, it all starts with Carl Brooks. He's an elite talent, maybe the best player on the field today.
Central Michigan's big spark last week came in their ground game. Marion Lukes blew up for them at Akron.
Well, normally when you lose your star running back, Lou Nichols, who's not just one of the best in the MAC, one of the best in all of college football, you take a step back. But Marion Lukes stepped up to the challenge. He's going to have to play his best football of his career today.
Yeah, we mentioned the weather. It is totally picturesque here with beautiful sunlit skies and a strong breeze here in mid-Michigan. Let's take a look at our coaches for today's game. Boy, two very experienced coaches, both in their fourth seasons. We see Jim McElwain with the Chippewas, and Bowling Green's got Scott Loeffler. The Loeffler challenge last week, Adam, was to get his team right emotionally. They really weren't all collected against Buffalo, but they got it together.
Yeah, Scott Loeffler told us he absolutely got after his guys last week on Wednesday and talked to them about their mindset, their energy on the sideline, and it paid off for him with a big win last week. Both these coaches have done really good jobs. Now it's about putting the whole thing together. Can they get a couple wins in a row and get some confidence going into November MAC play?
And Jim McElwain said, hey, look, we overcame adversity last week. That's not something easy for players to do when they are not playing with a high level of confidence. So he's equally as excited with what his team did at Akron. Central Michigan wins the coin toss. They will kick off, and Bowling Green will be on offense first. And this kick is not going to be returned. And the Falcons are going to try to get their offense rolling early and establish what they want to do and get this game on their terms, not Central's.
Yeah, they got to get Matt McDonald off to a hot start. You know, had a couple of drops last week, get the running game going. He just needs some confidence, and the receivers need to feel good about themselves.
So Bowling Green in the road white jerseys. Central Michigan in the home jerseys, trying to use the home crowd to their advantage, and they want to get off to a good start defensively here. Here's Matt McDonald under center, and they carry on first down. That's Teron Keith. He's an impact runner for them, and you can tell that when his legs are right, they are going to make some impact. We got a player down already for Bowling Green.
To Javian Stepney.
That's Alex Wolschlager, who's down at right tackle. 6'7", 290-pound sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. So they're going to let him come off the field, but very gingerly. Obviously, you never want to have injuries to anybody, but up front, it's maybe a little bit more meaningful.
This Bowling Green offensive line has played pretty well. They've protected the quarterback well. Their weak spot has probably been left tackle, trying to figure it out there. But the right tackle, Alex Wolfslager, has been a strength for them and their run game and their pass game so far.
The good news is it's a gain of 9. So the Falcons are in perfect position now, second down and 1. They're going to throw and complete the other way. That screen on the outside, a big pickup for Odu Hilaire, who's still up inside the 30, finally taken down from behind. Wow.
Man, Odu Hilaire can run when he gets the ball in space. That's what they got to do on offense. Find ways to get these playmakers touches early. We talked about it. Dan, getting Matt McDonald some easy touches. You see just an easy screen out there. They got the big offensive lineman running. You see Jakari Robinson out in space. Great way to start the game with an explosive play.
You don't expect a big hit like that from Bowling Green, but they take a short play and turn it into a jumbo. 45 yards down to the CMU 20. And timeout taken by Bowling Green. So not a place that Scott Loeffler necessarily wants to burn a timeout, but
it's a 30-second timeout.
The Falcons take advantage, and they've got great field position. We'll come back. Early first quarter, no score between the Falcons and the Chippewas. Already a little concerned right now, Adam, for Jim McElwain in this Central Michigan defense. 2 plays in, they're pinned in the red zone, and we got to look at the impact players that are going to need to help CMU's defense today.
I'm looking at number 9, Thomas Incoom. He may be one of the best pass rushers on the field, along with some of the guys Bowling Green has. He's an elite talent. He can move around the edge, and he's good against the run. He's going to have to step up here in the red zone.
So the Falcons poised for a successful trip to the red zone. McDonald's going to roll out, little toss, and it's complete in space to Sims. Christian Sims finally forced out, but we will talk about him a lot today, Adam. That's a tight end that's capable of some very good things.
Christian Sims can really run for being a big, long athlete, 6'5", 200-some pounds. Just a play action, they get him out in the flat. Let the big boy do the rest of the work. That's a big guy doing some athletic things to get up like that. Special talent.
They pick up 9 yards, and they continue to push on CMU on the ground. Not much space in the middle for Taryn Keith, but he's able to make positive yardage inside the 10, a gain of 4.
Teron Keith is really what I call a gadget running back. You know, you'll see them use him all over the field. They play some receiver. They'll throw the ball in the backfield. And they got a few backs here that they really feel good about. As we see number 44, Harold Fannin, running the game for Bowling Green. He's their red zone threat, the true freshman tight end. They may try to get him involved here. He rushed for a touchdown last week.
Yeah, they use him all kinds of different ways. Bowling Green has looked very sharp early in this game offensively. And they pound it inside. Not much there, but still. Jason Patterson is your carrier there.
You saw there, they faked the handoff to the tight end like we predicted. They ran that play for touchdown last week, tried to hand it off inside.
That's a no-gainer for BG, but you can see that Bowling Green in the red zone is, well, that's where they kind of, that's their Achilles heel. And Scott Loeffler said point blank, that's an area we've got to get better at this week. And here's McDonald. He's going to pick. Nope, he's going to keep it, turn it inside. So he had some options. He kept it himself, and he's inside the 5.
If you would have told anyone before the season that Bowling Green would be running speed option with Matt McDonald, no one would have believed you. But they've done it a bunch. They did it last game. McDonald is kind of what I like to call sneaky athletic. He can make plays with his legs. He's not going to wow you or take one to the house for 80 yards, but you can do things like that to be creative.
And credit to the BG offensive coordinators, co-coordinators, Greg Nosale and Max Warner. They devise a lot of good, different things that can be very effective. 3rd down, Falcons trying to strike first. McDonald's going to find all kinds of open field. Now he turns it inside, and he's hit hard and stopped at the 1. Boy, he had a big space. Central came at him. I think he got stopped at the 1-yard line. Boy, inside the 1.
McDonald keeps it himself again, trying to show that athleticism. They always tell the quarterbacks, don't go up in the air because it's a long way down. Good stop by the Central Michigan defense, and now a big 4th down and 1.
Well, he got airborne.
For the goal line. That play's under review.
Matt Pekowski is our referee today. So an early opportunity. They're going to review and make sure that the ball is, well, they want to make sure, I guess, he doesn't somehow get the ball over. I don't know if that's From that angle, Adam, that's hard for me to see.
You know, all that needs to happen is any point of the football has to break the white line, and it's a touchdown. Hard to see from that angle right there. And again, in order to overturn this, they'd have to have indisputable evidence.
James Schaefer is our replay official today. So, yeah, this is important. You know, as we mentioned, the red zone challenges for Bowling Green. They had a missed field goal last week, and they had an interception thrown in the end zone. So they do not want to get careless down here. They want to maximize their scoring opportunity.
It's such an important metric in football games is red zone efficiency. Not only getting points, but, Dan, you got to get touchdowns when you're in the red zone. Field goals aren't going to win you many football games, and they were just bad at it last week, 50% in the red zone. So this drive, pretty happy with it. If you're Scott Loeffler, the explosive play gets in the red zone. Now you got to get it.
Short of the goal line stands. It'll be 4th down.
So the call on the field is legit, and decision time for Scott Loeffler.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't go for this.
They're going to stay with their quarterback and try to punch this in for a touchdown.
4th and goal for Bowling Green.
Jason Patterson is the power back in the run game, and he is in the backfield for Bowling Green right now. Central Michigan with a big chance to make a statement early. Oh, there they go. That's to the up back, Harold Fannin. And they get the touchdown. They knew they were going to have an opportunity to use him effectively, and they do it on this run.
It's a really good call here. You normally think Harold Fannin would be lead blocking for the running back, but they hand it off to him playing fullback, and that just shows you how athletic this kid is. And we're talking about a true freshman, 6'4", 240 pounds, playing fullback, playing wide receiver, playing running back. I mean, they'll use him all over the field. The coaches are just shocked that he didn't go to the Big Ten or the SEC. This is an NFL-type talent.
They've also talked about his non-football skills, like he really has a great football mind. So he's not just a physical specimen. He's a guy who gets it between the ears, too. And
talking to Scott Loeffler, he said he has no idea how good he actually can be. You know, he's just so young and doesn't quite understand that he's a legitimate NFL talent at tight end, but he's only 18 years old.
Only a freshman. Here's the touchdown. They're going to re-examine this. I can't see how he did not get in. He had over half. Maybe this is the best angle.
Yeah, it looks like he's got
like his whole half of his body is over the line, so I'm not sure how they could flip this one, but
you know, converting that 4th down there on 4th and 1, the decision to go for it by Scott Loeffler.
And the official call is touchdown. So there it is.
The decision to go for it gives your offense some confidence, telling them we believe in our offensive line to punch it in there when our back's against the wall, and they did a great job.
So now here comes the point after. Mason Lawler, the place kicker for Bowling Green. And the Falcons have claimed a 7-0 lead here on Central Michigan. So winning the coin toss and going on offense first is a bonus for the Falcons. They pounded in for an early lead here at Central Michigan. G makes a big statement early with the touchdown on the first possession of the game. Boy, those colors are very vibrant here in mid-Michigan. And speaking of vibrant, Harold Fannin is the real deal for Bowling Green. They're going to just find ways to get him the ball nonstop throughout this game.
You know, talking to Scott Loeffler, he said that he knew his high school coach. The coach called him and said, we got a kid that you should probably look at. Had no offers from anyone around the country. They offer him at Bowling Green, and they said, we don't know how the heck we got him, but we're so glad we did because he is a special kid. He's going to be playing football for a long, long time.
DeJavion Stepney is the return man deep for Central Michigan, standing at his 5-yard line. And he will catch it at the 5 and try to make a positive return, and wrapped up at about the 16-yard line.
Stepney on the return.
So let's look at the quarterback setup right now for Central Michigan. Daniel Richardson is the guy that Jim McElwain, it's kind of a quandary. He's got faith in him, but he's also trying to give him a confidence boost to get him to play better and more consistently as this season rolls along.
Daniel Richardson played a lot of football at Central Michigan, and he played well last year. Normally in this conference, when you return a starting quarterback, you got a pretty good chance of being a really good team. But they've struggled on offense. They've struggled to move the football.
Offside, kicking team, number 19. If 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, we're re-kicking it.
And a lot of it has come to receivers. They've had drops. They've lost a bunch of running backs. I mean, they've been depleted on offense, so he hasn't had a ton of help, but Daniel Richardson needs confidence.
Well, of all the things that may upset Scott Loeffler, being offsides on a kickoff, I don't care what coach you are. That's going to drive you up the wall. So
it's the little things, right?
Right.
It's the little things that lead to victories. It looks like a small thing right now, but this is a field position game, especially in a game where both teams pride themselves on playing great defense. 5 yards means a lot in this type of ball game. So having to re-kick this thing, this is the kind of stuff that drives Scott Loeffler crazy and is what leads him to doing what he did last Wednesday that he told us about when he snapped on his whole team.
Yeah, he's been trying to find the right emotional buttons to push, and they certainly all came together last week in that impressive home win. But again, the challenge for young teams that maybe are struggling, like maybe kind of both of these teams are, Adam, is at the end of the day, the onus is on the players to kind of find that part of themselves that will get their best game out there. And confidence certainly plays a part of that. Well, same catch, same return, coming from the 5-yard line for Stepney. And this one, he breaks out. Finally tackled at about the 40-yard line. So the penalty giving CMU better field position as a result of the longer kickoff return by Stepney.
Well, the little thing on the penalty becomes a big thing now. That's a 20-yard difference in field position. Stepney does a great job. Plays defensive back now for Central Michigan. Former running back and wide receiver in high school. Played running back last year. Following his blockers. Puts him in a really good position here to start this drive.
So that's a 37-yard return, and that puts CMU in a good spot. 1st and 10 at the 40. Richardson handing off, and BG able to protect in the middle. That's Marion Lukes on the carry for only 1 yard.
2-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Central Michigan.
And here's our impact players when Central Michigan has the football. Carrier a threat in the passing game. Lukes a threat on the ground. And there's Lukes. And he gets taken down short of the line of scrimmage. We've got defensive impact players. You just saw one of them. And when we call Carl Brooks, or we'll call Carl a lot, Chris Bacon and Demetrius Hardiman are both impact players. But Brooks is kind of, Adam, like the alpha defensive player for Bowling Green right now.
He really is. He's played at a high level. And then Demetrius Hardiman has come on his own. He's become a guy they can go to, a great pass rusher, plays that outside linebacker spot, had a huge game last week, and they got some talent now in this front seven.
3rd and 11, passing down. Richardson will throw and well off target. He was looking for Jalen McGoy, but not in the vicinity. It's 3 and out. Central Michigan has to punt. And Bowling Green, obviously, with this game is in their grasp right now early.
Those are the kind of things for Daniel Richardson. He just needs to calm down. You saw there, the pocket wasn't even collapsing, and he has kind of happy feet, rolls out to the left a little bit when he doesn't have to. Just let the game come to you. He had a couple open receivers. Those are the kind of throws Daniel Richardson normally makes, and he's been missing the second half of this year.
Luke Elzinga punting. He's a good one. That's a very good kick. Doesn't take a great bounce, but no return. And Bowling Green will take over on offense. Let's look at keys to the game today, Adam, as we roll in and see what these teams want to do to get the path to victory.
Yeah, I think on offense, get Matt McDonald some easy completions, and they did that on the first drive for Bowling Green. took the ball down the field to score. And then for Central Michigan on offense, you got to start fast. They've struggled in the first quarter pretty badly, and that was not a great start to go 3 and out. You know, the other thing I'm looking at is Bowling Green's defense has been really, really bad on third down, giving up almost half of third down attempts. They got to be better on third down today.
Handoff to Jamal Johnson, and he gets taken down in the background. Boy, nobody checked Ronald Kent, an impact player making an impact play.
Man, Ronald Kent has been so impressive. I did the Central Michigan game 2 weeks ago, and it came away saying that guy flies around. He's active, and he transferred in from Western Carolina. He's brothers with number 4, Dante Kent. The two brothers getting to play together, and Ronald's last year from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. These two guys, number 2, number 4 for Central Michigan, are fun to watch.
Loss of 1. McDonald on the rollout. Now he's going to tuck and get taken down. Positive yardage. Tackle made by DeJavion Stepney, who just returned that kick. Gain of 2.
3-yard pickup on the play. It'll be third.
You know, Dan, going back to the Kent brothers, you know, what an interesting story of Dante Kent's on campus. You know, he just had a freshman All-American season, goes to the coaches and says, my brother Ronald is at Western Carolina. We should take him as a transfer. I think the coaches looked at him crazy at first, watched his film, and Rob Ackey said, we took him right after we saw his film, and Ronald Kent's made a big impact so far in his time.
Nice addition for CMU. 3rd and 8. Pressure coming. Down goes McDonald. There was more than one Chippewa jersey in there. Incoom was the one that got the first hit and the takedown.
Thomas Incoom is disruptive. That's the best way to put it. You're going to see him here on your right side of your screen, just speed rush around the left tackle. They don't even touch him. That's how quick he is. And left tackle has been a spot that Bowling Green struggled with. We talked about it. That's a big matchup today. Thomas Incoom 1-on-1 with the left tackle for Bowling Green. He's going to have a field day if they don't start chipping him or adding a running back in to help.
Franklin Lama will punt from the goal line, and he just nailed a good punt, and that one takes a bounce. CMU will get good field position, albeit with no return. Still a 7-0 Bowling Green lead. We'll come back to CMU in just a moment. Some of the CMU fans busting out the Halloween costumes a little early. Of course, Halloween's not far off. Hey, and Adam, let's talk about Daniel Richardson's confidence. How is he going to try to work himself into a positive space going forward?
Well, we saw the first drive when they went 3 and out. They ran the ball twice, and then he had a bad throw on third down. They need to get him an easy completion here, whether it's a screen pass, a hitch route, just get him some confidence.
Little play fake on first down. This is not Richardson. This is Jace Bauer under center. Redshirt freshman for a gain of 4. So a quarterback switch, maybe for one series. Again, sometimes coaches, you know, they like to give a different look early at him. We'll keep tabs and see how Jace Bauer does. And he gets good yardage on first down, a gain of 4. Now it's a handoff on the inside. They plow in the middle. That's Marion Lukes. We have to acknowledge, too, Adam, that we got some information that the Central Michigan running game is thinner than we even thought. We didn't know if Lou Nichols was going to play. Apparently, he's not going to be suiting up today for CMU.
I mean, they are depleted at not just running back, also wide receiver. But Lou Nichols is out, as we talked about. Miles Bailey, and then Christian Brown all out. Marion Lukes is the only scholarship running back they have right now on their roster for this game.
3rd down and 1. CMU switching quarterbacks. They're going to run on the ground. They're going to get positive yardage. A first down pickup. Bauer running. Sims on the tackle, but it's a gain of 6, and the Chippewas move the chains.
That's what Jace Bauer does. You see number 48 here, Cade Conley, the lead blocker, getting a big block on the linebacker that opens that whole thing up. And a good first down, getting the chains moving and some confidence for the Central Michigan offense.
So Bauer, obviously a strong quarterback with his legs. Ball at the Bowling Green 40-yard line. Now Bauer's going to throw, and he'll fall ahead. Good pressure there up front from Carl Brooks. Gain of 2 yards. Boy, it looked like Carl almost got like a horse collar kind of tackle thing up high, but didn't come through that way.
It's going to be fun watching these two defensive lines go at it. Carl Brooks just with the bull rush. Oh, he might have gotten away with a face mask there. But between Carl Brooks, Walter Hare on this Bowling Green defensive line, and then Central Michigan with Thomas Ingram, there's some really talented defensive linemen that will play in the NFL on this field today.
2nd down and 8. Quarterback keep, and Bauer runs. They sold the fake fairly well. He tries to get the edge. Nope, they turned him inside. Well, are you surprised that we have a quarterback switch this early in the game, Adam?
I mean, I am shocked. I know that they weren't all that confident in Daniel Richardson and how he's played, but to make a switch on the second drive of the game, I'm really surprised. And that is a statement that you lost faith in your quarterback. And now Bauer's going down, driving him down the field, getting some first downs together. We'll see what they do here going back. But it is on Jim McElwain to get some momentum going for his offense, and he decided to make the switch.
3rd and 4. Bauer with his first throw, and far sideline, and he caught it. Man, was that a tight window to throw in. Oh, he got forced out, Finn Hogan. Well, he caught it, not in bounds. Great catch. Couldn't get the feet in, though.
What an absolute rope of a throw this was by Jesse Bauer. That is the only spot he could put it. That is the only spot he could have put it.
A good throw, and it forces CMU into a field goal. Looks like a 52-yarder. And again, Jim McElwain has not had a ton of confidence in his special teams, but Marshall Meter is going to try a 52-yard field goal right here. Kicking into the wind. It is good. And Central Michigan getting some first quarter offense courtesy of a long field goal from Marshall Meter. That's his longest field goal of the season.
I'm surprised they attempted that field goal on 4th and 4. Given the struggles they have had in the kicking game. I mean, Meter has really struggled all year long, but that was an impressive kick. That thing might have been good from 58, 60 yards.
Yeah, the Chippewas answer and respond. The quarterback change. And okay, so now we have Jace Bauer in at quarterback for that series. It's not impossible that Jim McElwain might just say, hey, look, I'll put Daniel Richardson back in the next series just to let him kind of be on the sidelines, see what BG is doing from a different vantage point. You know, we'll see. I think Jim McElwain's going to let the game situation dictate what he's going to do with his quarterback.
If I had to make a prediction, I would think that Jace Bauer would stay in at quarterback. He got some momentum, put some points on the board, got a first down.
Central Michigan has changed
I would think that they
24.
keep him in here, but you never know what Jim McElwain's thinking. He's the quarterback guru for a reason. He knows his guys. He knows their personalities. And the other thing, Dan, that might have been a plan going into the game that we just didn't know about. The quarterbacks could have known that a second series, Bauer is going to get a chance.
Ball is coming out of the end zone for Bowling Green. And taken down from behind. A couple of CMU defenders get up for a return of 20 yards. Teron Keith is the return man. There's the 7-play drive for Central. Return man. There's the 7-play drive for Central. Again, they only got 21 yards of offense on the drive, but it was the long field goal by Meter. Again, it lets them kind of take a breath, relax a little bit, and get a little more comfortable. Now what can they do on defense? Falcons running on first down. Little bounce out run here. Oh, wow, they get a whole bunch more than they thought. And Keith still going. Holy cow. Jason Patterson, who's not prone to huge runs. But, Adam, he just blew one off for 36 yards.
Jason Patterson, as you said, not a speedster, but what he does is he breaks tackles. You're going to see him here get hit right at probably 2 yards down the field, break the tackle, and then use the strong stiff arm. This guy's a strong back, and you see it there, breaking the tackle, using the stiff arm, and then doing the rest of the work with his legs.
Falcons have had big plays on their first drive and now this drive. And then a flag thrown before the snap, and a false start's coming.
False start, offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's on Alex Wolschlager, who left the game early with looked like a leg injury, but he's back in now.
And we talked about the little things. We had the offsides on the kickoff. I mean, you just get a big play on offense. You're in great field position now, a new set of downs, and you jump off sides and you're in 1st and 15. It's tough to convert when you're behind the chains now. You need 15 yards for a first down. Not good conversion rates.
Big pressure. Down goes Richardson. Man alive. Central Michigan getting pressure on him, and that's a loss of 10 yards. Man, I'll tell you what, this is an area that Bowling Green's going to have to address. They cannot let that pressure come in that fast.
Taquan Johnson, no one touches him up the middle of the defense. Johnson's a guy that they are really excited about. He played a lot in 2020, had a big year then, had a knee injury, missed the last couple games, and he's coming on into his own now. They need a big game out of him.
Pressure in the middle. He goes down again. Boy, there is no time for McDonald to get comfortable. That's a loss of 5 yards, and that's a 2 for a sack for CMU.
You just see the pocket collapsing, and it's not one guy in this situation. It's the defensive tackles both getting penetration. The defensive ends get some rush up the field, which forces McDonald to step up. And then Lee, number 99, the big fella, gets home for the sack.
So now that long run is a distant memory from Patterson. It's 3rd and 25. And they'll play it safe, throw a little completion there on that far side. And that's to Taron Keith. And he gets it about to midfield, but that's nowhere near a first down pickup. They get 13. Well, Central Michigan, Adam, if you're right now, if you're looking at it through the eyes of defensive coordinator Rob Akey, he's like, look, let's eliminate the big play. We're doing a lot of other good things besides that.
You know, Rob Akey is doing exactly what he wants to do on defense. He's not a big pressure type of guy, doesn't need to be all that aggressive. They're only rushing 4 guys, and they're getting home to the quarterback, allowing their defensive backs to play coverage, have some support. Their defensive line is doing a great job and allows them to be multidimensional on defense.
So no return for Central Michigan, and a good punt to pin CMU back inside the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the MAC scoreboard. Of course, a full day of action today. Won't be for another week or two that we get into the November midweek games, but a lot of good games. The most important one that's on the schedule, of course, is the Toledo and Buffalo game. That's a 7-0 lead early for the Rockets against Buffalo. Both of those teams unbeaten in MAC play. Kent State going back and forth with Akron, and the other games are not kicking off for a little bit yet. So, but that Toledo-Buffalo game is one that's kind of a very meaningful game. On first down, Richardson back in at quarterback, but he hands off. Luke's on the carry for a gain of 3.
Well, I told you I'd be surprised if they didn't put Bauer back in, and I'm surprised. I think you had some momentum going on offense, so this tells me now that Richardson's back in that was probably a plan going into this game, that they were going to give Bauer the second series, see how he does, and then kind of play it with the hot hand from there. Coaches like to do that a lot. It's becoming more of a trend in college football. You saw it at Michigan with J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara, letting both guys play.
Pressure now taken down from behind. And Bowling Green continues to pressure. A loss of 7 yards. Demetrius Hardiman, an impact player, you bet.
Guess who? We're going to be saying his name a lot. And again, it's a speed rush. They're only rushing 4 guys here. Hardiman just uses the rip move off the left side. Davis Heinzen can't maintain him. Hardiman gets home for the sack. He is playing some really good football. Former walk-on, was given a scholarship, transferred in from Georgetown College, NAIA school, and coaches are just fired up they got this kid.
So timeout. No, actually no timeout. We burned out our first quarter of football here in Mount Pleasant. Central Michigan with bad field position, and the Falcons have had the big plays early. That's why they are leading here at CMU by a score of 7-3. Well, kind of a mixed bag of results for Jim McElwain so far. His defense has made some big plays, but they've given up some big plays too. His offense needs to juice it up here on a 3rd and long, and a little crossing route in the middle. Almost dropped, but caught by Jalen McGoy, and not enough for a first down for CMU. So Richardson comes off, unable to get a first down, although he does give them a little bit more room to punt.
This receiving room for Central Michigan, as we talked about, has struggled catching the football. And even the balls they've caught, they've been bobbling, juggling. Right there, if McGoy catches that ball clean, he probably is able to break a tackle and get a first down. There's no one in front of him. It was a good play design, but the bobble makes him slow down, and then he gets tackled from behind. It's the little things. That's going to be the theme of the day, the little things these teams need to do to win ball games.
Man, look at this punt by Elzinga. And caught at the 33. Bowling Green trying to get a big return, and here it comes. Tackled from behind, but Jake Rogers looks like an impact player on special teams, and he sets up the Falcons with great field position.
It's a great punt, and sometimes when you punt the ball so far, your coverage team doesn't have time to get down there. So sometimes a long punt can actually hurt your coverage team because it just gives so much time for the returner Rogers to get going before he hits all the guys trying to tackle him. Really good job there by Rogers, using his blockers, cutting in and out, and you see why he's so special back there returning kicks.
28 yards on the return. Falcons at the CMU 40. This is Keith running off tackle and getting maybe a couple yards, not much. Adam, let's revisit that theme about wide receivers and how do they get that confidence back when they're bobbling footballs? What's the thought process for a receiver in that arena?
It's tough because once you lose your confidence, it's hard to get it back. You start thinking about it too much, and it needs to become something that's so natural that you're so confident in doing it, you don't even think about it. When you start dropping balls, you start standing out there and saying, oh, I hope I don't drop this one. I better catch this one, and that's when more drops happen.
2nd down and 8, kind of a missed opportunity for Jamal Johnson. He's going to lose a yard. Looked like he lost his footing in the backfield. And it brings up 3rd and long for Bowling Green. And this is where that Central Michigan defense kind of starts to get a little frothing at the mouth.
This is time where Rob Ackey's got to decide, do we play off and play coverage, play zone, rush 4 guys and try to get home, or do we bring the house and bring pressure? It's a big decision here. Do you believe in your defensive backs to play man? And by the looks of it, they're bringing a bunch of guys out. It looks like they're going to come after them, and they are.
Quick throw, and they complete it in the flat. That's to Hilaire, who's going to stay up and get inside the 20. Smart decision by Bowling Green. McDonald knew what was coming. A quick pass and a big pickup.
Really smart decision. We're up here talking about the blitz, and they show it right away. That was cover 0, blitzed everyone except the guys playing man-to-man. And the best beater of cover 0 is a simple screen route because there's no one out there to tackle the guys. Really good call by Scott Leffler, and Matt McDonald dialed it up.
Odu Hilaire with 23 yards on that simple catch. And again, nothing good happens unless the receiver holds onto that ball.
Exactly.
From the 16. Oh, they're going to mix it up and try to run the edge here, and they'll force him out. Not a great pickup, but Kevon Kroom is the carrier there. They'll showcase him once in a while. Gain of 6.
You're going to see a lot of misdirection here. You got 2 guys running to the left, a lineman pulling to the right, and then they toss it back to the receiver. Those are what Scott Leffler calls eye violations. They make your eyes look in places they're not supposed to. All this movement and window dressing allows that kind of play to happen.
At the 10-yard line, Patterson tries to bounce out, but there's a host of CMU defenders there. And that's a loss, but Trey Jones is going to get credit for that tackle, but he had some help.
Trey Jones is an impressive defensive back for the Central Michigan defense. He's physical. He just shows up time and time again. You turn on their film and you just see number 3 around the football all the time.
So 3rd down and 5. Again, the Falcons in the red zone. Not a guarantee, so they want to maximize this trip inside. They got their first touchdown on a Harold Fannin run on their first possession. Now McDonald, boom, down he goes. A free run in the middle from Kyle Moretti, the linebacker. That's a sack, and that's a loss of 9 yards.
Kyle Moretti, I call him the heartbeat of their defense. He just adds on to the blitz here. No one touches on the defense. The offensive line doesn't see him coming. Gets home to the quarterback. It's a good pressure they dialed up. Again, Central Michigan doesn't blitz a ton, but when they do, they have these special packages, these special rushes that get home to the quarterback.
So here's Mason Lawler on the field goal attempt from 38 yards out. He's got the wind behind him, and he will kick that ball through the uprights and give the Falcons a 7-point lead. 10-3 is our score. Early second quarter, Bowling Green leading Central Michigan. Chips fans enjoying the great weather. They'd like to see that scoreboard flipped, but that will maybe coming sometime soon. There's the drive for Bowling Green. Again, the drives have been short. The field goal kickers have been good. A 38-yard field goal make for Mason Lawler. That was a Marshall Meter 52-yard field goal. That was Central Michigan's points.
Well, we predicted it. We'd see a lot of defense in this game, not a ton of offense. Other than the first drive for Bowling Green, we haven't really seen many explosive plays. Only 2 in the game so far. It's a game where both defenses are going to step up and try to control the tempo of this ballgame.
Yeah, we kind of also wonder, too, which offense is going to set the tone and dictate their game plan on the other one. We haven't really seen that happening yet, have we?
Yeah, I mean, both teams want to run the football, but you look at the stats, and Bowling Green's rushed for 32 yards, Central Michigan for 16. Those numbers aren't going to win you many football games, especially for Central Michigan. They need to run the football. They need to impose their will, eat this clock, and keep this ball game close. And they just haven't been able to run the ball so far. As we see Jesse Bauer headed back in, it looks like they were planning to rotate quarterbacks.
So Central Michigan continues to, it seems the theme is to alternate quarterbacks on each series. So for Jace Bauer, his second series, his first series got them that 3 points. On the ground. Not much room there for Marion Lukes, and he gets pushed back. Oh, no, he comes out of it. Now flags are flying. 1, 2, 3 flags.
Marion Lukes, the ball carrier. There are penalty markers on the play.
Marion Lukes should have been tackled for a 4-yard loss there. Somehow slips out of it. And it looks like I think they're going to tackle on for a personal foul.
And those flags.
Base pass. Defense. 50-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So then another penalty that's going to hurt Bowling Green. That's on Cassius Howell.
First and 10 from the
Look at him just
45.
turn nothing into something. Yeah, that's a definitive face mask for sure. And again, you know, if you're Scott Loeffler and you're Bowling Green, you just can't give up penalties like that.
That's a huge penalty. You have the guy for a 4-yard loss. It's going to be 2nd and 14 backed up, and now it's first down at midfield.
Bauer throwing and completing a direct throw and catch. And again, it's the tight end, Joel Wilson. We're going to start calling his name probably more and more. That's a tight end that Central Michigan coaches, Adam, have a lot of trust in right now.
You know I get excited when the tight ends start catching the football. And Joel Wilson, there's a lot of good tight ends in this game. Joel Wilson's probably the very best one. I mean, we're talking about a guy that is top in the country in receptions. They use him a ton. Very active, great receiver.
Luke's on the ground, plowing in the middle. They haul him back. 3 white jerseys put him down for a gain of 4. Lane Spires, one of those tacklers. So 3rd and 2. Again, it's if you're grading the quarterbacks based on, you know, simple production, it's Jace Bauer that's been productive for Central Michigan, not Daniel Richardson.
He has been. And at 3rd and 2 now, you're probably in 4-down territory. They'll probably go for this if they don't get it. So you have a lot of options here as a play call. You can run it. You can go play action and try to throw it. You got another down to try to get it.
Bauer faking pressure. He'll throw a wounded duck in the middle, incomplete. Well, I'll tell you what, both of these defensive lines, these defensive coordinators, Rob Akey for CMU and Eric Lewis for Bowling Green, we've seen a lot of blitzes coming and a lot of pressure coming on these quarterbacks.
Yeah, both defensive lines are the strength of their team, and you're seeing them get a ton of pressure. You know, I'm surprised there. If it's 3rd and 2 and you're not going to go for it on 4th down, surprised they ran that kind of play-action shot play. They were trying to get the tight end down the middle.
So Elzinga has punted and kicked off to Jake Rogers, and Rogers has proved that he is up to the task to make big things happen. Let's see what he can do here. He'll let this one go, and Central Michigan's going to cover it inside the 10-yard line. A break here at Central Michigan. The fall colors are in full bloom. Cheerleaders are fired up too. More football from CMU after this. 10-3 is our score with Bowling Green leading Central Michigan. Stay with us here at halftime. First, it's Eli's Places heading to Pasadena to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Rose Bowl Stadium. Then Adam and I break down the first half of play. All that more coming up at the half as we hit late October. These games take on more meaning. Adam, as a former Penn State player, you kind of approach these games and have to be a little bit more focused, dedicated, because you know how important they are as the season starts to kind of wind down. Running on this play and a big run for a first down is Teron Keith. Boy, nothing is putting him down. Sorry, that's Jason Patterson on the run. Boy, again, when they call on him, Adam, he just seems to deliver something unique and important every play.
He's so big and so strong, and he always falls forward. You'll notice that when he runs. He's never getting hit and then falling a couple yards back. He's always getting a few more. He's a really good running back, and this Bowling Green run game is going to have to get going. Just saw a first down there to control the tempo of this ball game. Now they have the lead.
That's a gain of 20. Patterson again. This time he tries to get outside, but Central Michigan's got Trey Jones there to take him down, but flags after the tackle, gain of 7.
Going to be holding on the offense here, bring it back.
Holding, offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Not a great call, certainly for Bowling Green. You just can't have your left tackles making mistakes like that.
And that's the left tackle spot they've struggled with. They've been rotating Cameron Stewart and Tunde Fatukasi and just trying to figure out which one of these guys can be our left tackle of the future. The rest of their line is solid. I mean, they got guys, Jalen Grant, Shakari Robinson, that have played a ton of football and are stout up front, but you can't have a weak left tackle spot. As you know, Dan, that's the one spot you got to be good at on the offensive line.
5-yard loss sets them back to the 24-yard line. Quick throw, complete far side. And they don't get much afterwards. They connect with Harold Fannin, but Fannin just keeps pushing. They just couldn't get him out.
Great play design here. Just a quick throw to get Harold Fannin the ball in space. Their big tight end. This kid is a freak. Look at him break the tackle here, keep the toes in bounds, and drag the Central Michigan defenders a couple yards.
That was Dante Kent, who, you know, that's a one-on-one battle. You don't see a secondary player lose a battle like that to a tight end very often. Second down and 2. Now, great opportunity for a big run as it's Jamal Johnson on the carry for a gain of 2, but boy, if he could have stepped out of that tackle by Kyle Moretti, he could have gone a whole lot longer.
Kyle Moretti, see him at middle linebacker here. He just scrapes over the top and plays this thing so well. You know, in those kind of run plays where Bowling Green's pulling guards and offensive tackles, the linebackers just follow the pullers. They stay patient, find the offensive lineman that's pulling, and just follow him. Moretti did it perfectly there.
So the Falcons move it to the 39-yard line for a 1st and 10. They scored on the opening drive, a touchdown. They've led ever since. Oh, finally the pressure is just too much for McDonald. He looked up and there was a jersey behind him, a jersey in front of him, and he said, all right, that's enough. Loss of 5.
See Bowling Green rushes 5 guys here. Laquan Johnson comes around the edge and gets home. That whole play was made by Trey Jones, though, the safety who came off the edge. You saw him on the left side. Blitz the safety. Trey Jones forces the quarterback to step up. And then Laquan Johnson gets credit for the sack. Sometimes the guy who forces the sack isn't the one who actually gets it on the stat sheet.
Second down, play fake. McDonald throwing. It is caught in space. Odu Hilaire catches it and gets a Bowling Green first down. That's a gain of 17.
Really good post route here. You see Hilaire show that he's going vertical and then break that thing off. And the most impressive part was the throw. That thing was right on the money. Matt McDonald starting to feel himself here, step into his throws, get in rhythm, and move this offense down the field.
And they have moved into CMU territory. On the ground, that's Patterson. They pound him in the middle. Sorry, that's Johnson, not Patterson. Gain of 4. And a flag.
We see Bowling Green use all these different running backs. Tryson Patterson, Jamal Johnson, Teron Keith. They kind of have this running back by committee. All 3 can do it all. A couple of them are a little bit better receivers, but they feel really good about their running back room. They're deep and talented, unlike on the other side of the ball, Central Michigan, who's got 1 scholarship running back left.
Yeah, the Chippewas are
There is
really
no foul for an illegal low block on the defense. Second down.
Central Michigan is really stretched thin in the run game, and you know, again, of all the challenges that Central Michigan has trying to help Daniel Richardson's confidence, well, you'd like to have a big runner who can, you know, do good things every time they get the ball, but it hasn't really happened that way today for them.
Well, we're talking about Daniel Richardson's confidence. The best way to build his confidence certainly isn't pulling him the second drive of the game and rotating quarterbacks. So that kind of shows a lack of confidence the coaches have in him.
McDonald throws a bobble but a catch, and that's number 44 again, as Harold Fannin will call his name all day. Only a gain of 2, but well, you know, you made a point, Adam, earlier about a receiver who bobbles the ball and then catches it. That really is more significant than just it seems, because people watching think, well, he caught it. So that was the important part, but it's about getting yardage after the catch, which usually doesn't happen after you bobble it.
Exactly,
right?
And you got to realize the quarterback is intentionally putting the ball on one shoulder or the other. When the quarterback puts the ball on your left shoulder, that tells the receiver, turn up to your left side. So when it gets bobbled, that messes up the whole timing and location of the pass.
And we have multiple flags in the air, so penalties are definitely one-sided more against Bowling Green than Central Michigan.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
These kinds of penalties just kill you as an offense. You're in a third and manageable. You know, you got 3rd and 4, a high conversion down, and the penalty puts you in 3rd and long now. You're not going to convert many 3rd down and 9s.
And the way that Central Michigan has been bringing defensive pressure on these passing downs, Matt McDonald's probably got a little lump in his throat right now. 3rd and 9. No pressure this time. He'll take a shot downfield in traffic, incomplete. The target was C.J. Lewis, and we got a Central Michigan player down. Probably collided with his own teammate. That's Dakota Cochran, linebacker from Shaker Heights, Ohio, redshirt freshman.
Give credit to the Central Michigan secondary. We've been talking a lot about the defensive line. Bowling Green's going to punt on a 4th down and long. And Dan, the theme of the day, defense, defense, defense. These defensive lines, these secondaries on both sides of the ball, playing really good football, big pressure, and they've been in a lot of third down and fourth down and longs, bad situations for the offense to be in.
So here's the punt, and fair catch called for at the 6-yard line. Maybe that's one of those that you let go, but it's kind of a tough spot to be in. It's a 40-yard punt and no return. So again, so far in this game, we've had Central Michigan alternating quarterbacks. We'll take a break and see who the chips roll out on this series. A 10-3 Bowling Green lead on CMU. Bowling Green with a 1-touchdown lead, and the quarterback on the field for this series, Daniel Richardson. So it's been kind of a back and forth rotation for Jim McElwain. He's had Jace Bauer in for multiple series, but again, you can see from time of possession, Central Michigan needs to start putting it together on offense. On the ground, they get a little effort to run wide. That's Marion Lukes, but he gets tackled in open space. Chris Bacon on the tackle. Lukes is coming off, and that's a 0 gain for CMU, and that's about the worst case scenario for them because they're already light in the depth chart at running back, and that brings out Jake Tefelsky. And they throw underneath, and that's Tefelsky getting ankle tackled at the 15-yard line for a gain of 7.
Jake Tefelsky.
Jake Tefelsky ready for his moment.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought going into this season with this loaded running back room at Central Michigan he'd be playing at all in these big, meaningful conference games. But he's a walk-on. Guy that came on the team, earned his way.
And that is not a great visual for Central Michigan with Lou Nichols already out, Marion Lukes out with a broken wrist. So 3rd down and 3. Little toss in the middle. That's complete. And I don't think he got quite to the 1st down marker. A gain of 2. And Joel Wilson makes the catch, but well, from the naked eye, he was very close to the 1st down marker.
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green takes a timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Bowling Green trying to save time on the clock here as they get ready for a 2-minute drive.
And that ball, based on the spot, looks like it's a yard short.
Ruling the field as the runner.
You can see him stretch ahead to try to get the 1st down. And they have not moved the chains yet. So this looks like 4th and 1 for CMU.
You see Joel Wilson just on a simple route. Good throw by Richardson. That's a tackle. The big tight end's got a break. 3rd down, you got to get to the sticks. He tries reaching it out. This Central Michigan offense, Dan, I mean, there's no explosiveness to it. You know, there's no downfield threat. There's no threat in the pass game. Carlos Carrier is their best receiver. We talked about him a little bit. He doesn't have a touch yet today, and he's been a little bit banged up. There's just nothing going on down the field for them. It's running the football in short throws, and you can only do that. You need chunk plays to get in the red zone to score touchdowns.
And, you know, we talked to the offensive coordinators for both teams. You know, Paul Petrino for Central Michigan, you know, so much of the focus is on the quarterback, and that's rightfully so. But the reality is your skilled players all have to figure out how to make big plays when they have opportunities. And that's where that drop pass theme comes back. And, you know, you just have to put it back on the receivers.
The ruling of the runner being short of line of gain stands. 4th down.
And Carlos Carrier is the guy that Paul Petrino has mentioned. He says, you know, in terms of his physical skills, he's probably our best wideout.
You make a good point about the talent around Daniel Richardson. When he looked really good last year, he had a lot of really good players around him. This is the ultimate team game. You need good receivers. You need a solid offensive line. This year, Richardson's playing with 2 tackles who are brand new. They lost their receivers to the transfer portal. All they really have is Carlos Carrier, who came in from Maryland, and then Joel Wilson at tight end. There's no other playmakers for him, and Lou Nichols, the best running back in the country last year, is now out.
Elzinga will punt to Jake Rogers, who fair catches it right at midfield. So the Falcons will get good field position after a 34-yard punt. And time to work with, under 3 minutes. That's certainly a comfortable space for Matt McDonald and the BG offense.
Bowling Green on offense now, you're in kind of 2-minute situation. You got 2:44 left, 2 timeouts, but you're at midfield. You don't need to go fast. You're still, and you can run your base offense. You can run the football here if you want. You don't got to go extremely fast.
You can see Marion Lukes walking off gingerly. Again, the difficulties at running back continue. Here's a toss on first down to Teron Keith and a flag. 2 flags. Right where Keith tried to turn upfield. We'll see if this is going for BG. Well, I tell you what, Scott Loeffler is going to be happy.
Offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
That's on Odu Hilaire. Bowling Green's winning the penalty game, which you don't want to win.
You love the receivers blocking downfield and showing some effort, but Hilaire just has to let go there. His hands were outside. Those receivers, you want them to be physical, but don't do anything stupid and get us penalties. Now, first down and 20. Bad situation to be in, especially to end the first half.
So the Falcons walk it back 10 yards. Throwing and complete in the middle. Oh, great tackle. Hilaire makes up for it with a big catch, but the ankle tackle is what really is noteworthy. That's Javarius Sims, the freshman cornerback, and that could have been a whole bunch more if he doesn't make that stop.
It's a great play design, play action, which forces the linebackers to step up. That's what happens when you run the football well. The backers step up on play action, and Hilaire runs the post route right behind it. Great throw, great catch, great play design by Scott Loeffler.
That's 19 yards. Now a little dump pass, and that's complete. And a hard hit, forcing Christian Sims out of bounds. That's a very important player in the Bowling Green offensive scheme.
Christian Sims is a guy they got to keep finding unique ways to get the ball to. He's a unique guy that plays that tight end position. Bowling Green's got a couple of them now with Harold Fannin and Christian Sims. Sims is a Mackey Award watch list guy, one of the best in the country at tight end.
From the CMU 28, McDonald under duress, now throwing in the middle. It's caught. Man, he was under some serious pressure and made a perfect throw to C.J. Lewis, and they are continuing to push on CMU defensively. That's a 19-yard gain.
See how Matt McDonald stands in the pocket but shifts a little bit to his left and keeps his eyes downfield. Watch him here. The pressure comes from the left side. He shifts. Stands in the pocket, but shifts a little bit to his left and keeps his eyes downfield. Watch him here. The pressure comes from the left side. He shifts downfield. It's a veteran move, veteran pocket presence by the quarterback, Matt McDonald. Finds C.J. Lewis for a big game. Good catch.
They're at the 9-yard line in Central Michigan. Crushes at the point of attack and puts down Jason Patterson for a loss of 4 yards.
First to contact for the Chippewas. 4-yard loss on the play. Second and goal to go from the 13-yard line.
Players on the Central Michigan D-line.
Oh, a little toss to Sims. Oh, he lost the football. Now he got it back. Oh, boy. We have not seen many mistakes with the football. That's a loss of 2. Sorry, plus 2.
2-yard gain on the pickup.
Again, another creative play call. Sims maybe got a little bit banged on that.
You think Scott Loeffler heard me say find creative ways to get Christian Sims the ball? I mean, they probably drew it up a little bit better than that. But again, an interesting, creative play call. Shovel pass to the tight end, something you don't see a whole lot.
So a Bowling Green timeout. They want to make sure they can make the most of this opportunity in the red zone.
Bowling Green.
And get some
Is
points,
third and final to have.
preferably a touchdown
It's
as
a 30-second
opposed to a
timeout.
field goal.
Please set the game clock to 26 seconds. Thank you.
Well, you got 25 seconds here, third down. You got time to do what you want to do. So what is Scott Loeffler directing his offense to do right now?
Yeah, it's a tough situation because you got third down and 11, right? So that's why he let that clock run down, take the timeout to make sure he's not giving Central Michigan a whole lot of time left. If you convert the third down and goal here, you know, it's a touchdown. But obviously you want to take all the time down. You got to throw the ball in the end zone here.
You just saw the graphic for total yardage for both teams. You might look at the score and go, all right, hard-fought defensive struggle, but the offensive cumulative stats say otherwise. Bowling Green has really been dominant offensively.
They really have. I mean, Central Michigan, you're looking at it with, you know, only 48 yards of offense right now. Bowling Green with 230 yards. It's a one-sided game here, and if they can get a score on this play right now, they'll feel really good going into the locker room.
So McDonald's got 3 wideouts at the top of the screen. Now a deep ball in the middle, touchdown. Bowling Green connecting in the air. And we haven't called his name, Tyrone Bowden, the tallest receiver on the field, makes a huge catch from 11 yards out. And Bowling Green is now up 2 scores.
Matt McDonald has made some huge throws, and you see Broden here on the outside. Just run a post route on the defensive back, who's only 5'11". That's about an 8-9 inch difference in height there. Just put it up for the big boy, let him go get it. Broden, another one of these special talents on this Bowling Green offense. Long, lengthy athletes that make plays in space.
Lawler hits the point after, and it is a 2-touchdown lead for Bowling Green. And Matt McDonald on the money when the Falcons need a strong throw.
This is not an easy throw. The holes and the windows are so tight in the red zone. He put it right where only his receiver could get it. That's a big-time throw by Matt McDonald, the veteran who was recruited by Scott Loeffler to Boston College, had the familiarity, transfers to play for him at Bowling Green, and he's playing some really good football right now.
You know, Adam, 2 weeks ago when Buffalo was kind of manhandling Bowling Green, as you see Scott Loeffler is in good spirits on the sideline, but he talked about the importance of, hey, you know, you got to get your quarterback going through proper mechanics on every throw, and that was kind of the area they had to address going into last week's game. It seems like now McDonald's really gotten into a comfortable groove.
And you got to stay in within the box of the play, right? The coaches give you, you know, here are your reads. Here's your progression throughout the play. Here's who you throw it to, who you don't throw it to. And when McDonald gets outside of that is when he makes mistakes. He'll throw interceptions. He gets a little bit of happy feet in the pocket. But when he does what he's coached to do and stands in there and delivers throws on the money, he's as good as anyone in the league.
Bowling Green takes advantage of the short field with a 6-play, 50-yard drive. This is the most significant play right now for Central Michigan. Here's the run for Marion Lukes, really their only healthy running back, and you can see the way he gets taken down was not in a comfortable fashion, and he came up and it has gone off the field into the CMU locker room, and since he's gone, it relies on Jake Tefelsky to kind of carry the running game for Central Michigan.
That's the one injury they could not afford to have. I mean, they have lost everyone at running back. No scholarship players left. Again, Jake Tefelsky is a walk-on.
Richardson's going to throw, and now he gets taken down. Just nothing unfolding downfield, and Carl Brooks is the tackler, the sacker for a loss of 14 yards. And that's going to end our first half of football on certainly a down note for Central Michigan, as Bowling Green scored on the opening drive and has been in control of this game ever since. 17-3 is our halftime score in Mount Pleasant. Bowling Green leading Central Michigan. Halftime is next when we come back to Mount Pleasant.
Comfortable early. He's 12 of 13, almost perfect today so far. He's really getting into his groove. And then on offense for Central Michigan, they certainly did not start fast. They missed my memo on that one. I was looking for 3 scores in the first half. They come away with only a field goal. They have to figure it out on offense going into the second half. I'm looking for who they put in at quarterback. Their run game is really non-existent now that you lose your starting running back. So it's going to be Daniel Richardson and Bauer having to go out there and sling the ball around and come back from this 14-point deficit.
And for Jim McElwain for CMU, it's just like, you're in quicksand trying to figure out what you can do offensively if you don't have healthy players. I don't know what you can't be dealt a worse hand than what Coach Mack has been dealt with today.
And really, Central Michigan, the one thing they could always lean on was their run game. They had Lou Nichols, who led the nation in rushing last year, was one of the best in the country, an NFL running back. Okay, he goes out. You think, well, we still got Marion Lukes, we still got Miles Bailey, some pretty good backs. And then they go down. And now you don't have what you normally can lean on. You normally have that run game. It's pretty much out of the picture now. They've got to figure out a way to throw the football.
So Central Michigan's got a good return here. They get Sam Hicks on special teams. So they kicked away from DeJavion Stepney. But let's find out what this flag's about. And the flags came way upfield.
The refs talking this one over.
And again, Matt Pekowski is our referee today.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the kicking team, and both will be enforced. Offside on the kicking team, number 12. Dead ball, personal foul, kicking team, late hit, number 22. Both fouls will be enforced. Free kick.
Well, Bowling Green, probably what their philosophy was coming into the game, they've checked off probably all the boxes. Penalties is not a box that they have checked off on.
They've been really bad in the penalty department. I mean, we've seen them almost every single drive throughout the game. We saw it on the kickoff teams a couple times. You're going to see the late hit here by number 26. He's about. Oh, it's back on the blocker. It's going to be on Bowling Green just a little bit too late. The ball's out of bounds, and they're hitting the guy in the back. Going to call it every single time. And if Central Michigan now mounts a comeback, this point in the game where they now start with the ball, first drive of the second half on their own on the plus 35-yard line, this is a huge advantage for an offense. And Jim McElwain was telling his guys, we need to score on this drive right here to keep this ball game close.
And coaches can just pound that message all week long in practice, but those mental mistakes that lead to penalties, that lead to situations like this. Bauer throws in space. Oh, they missed the tackle. The connection is to the tight end. And finally taken out of bounds is Joel Wilson, who hops up and gets big yardage, 14 yards on first down.
Great touch on this throw by Bauer. You see he gets it over the linebacker, puts it right in Wilson's hands. Jace Bauer has brought some nice rhythm to this offense, it feels like. They look a little bit more polished, a little bit more like they have an identity when he's in there.
Jordan Oladokun was the one who missed on the tackle that sets up a big first down get. Bauer fakes, throws, sideline, caught again. A hard hit on Joel Wilson, but he holds it, and Central Michigan has the ball at the BG 5-yard line.
Another great throw by Jace Bauer. You're going to see the tight end there on the right side of your screen. He's going to sneak out down the sideline. The play action allows that to happen. Listen to the hit here. Big tight end holds on through contact. That's what they do. They got to catch the ball. You're always going to get hit after you catch it at tight end.
Chris Bacon delivers. Now on the ground. Touchdown. CMU. Jake Tefelsky running in for 6 for the Chippewas. And now, hey, all it takes is one play, one series, one drive. It's a one-score game for CMU, and the emotional swing comes in favor of the Chips.
It's a game of momentum. You need momentum. When you lose it, you got to get it back somehow. Once you get it, you can't lose it, or else things can flip in a hurry. That is exactly the drive that Jim McElwain told his offense at halftime. We got to put something together, and we talked about it, Dan. Getting the ball at their 35-yard line after those 2 penalties, crucial point in this ball game.
Marshall Meter hits the PAT, but Central Michigan strikes first in the second half. More third quarter football when we continue.
The College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences.
Now the Chippewas needed a big series to start this second half, and they certainly got it. Let's take a look at what they did right, Adam, in this series.
Let's take a look at this touchdown. You're going to see the 2 tight ends who are behind the offensive tackle. Right there behind the left tackle, the 2 guys are standing beside each other. They're going to flow all the way across the other side of the field. The ball's going to come behind them. That flow is what makes the linebackers move the wrong way. You see 17 going the wrong way. He takes himself completely out of the play. That's the kind of eye candy that this Jim McElwain offense does. And Paul Petrino's done a great job dialing up some of these things. That's the drive they needed. Punch it in the end zone, get some momentum back, and we got a ball game now.
And Jake Tefelsky on the touchdown run. You know, Adam, the players that are kind of buried on the depth chart from week to week, what's the thing they always want? They just want to be in a game situation where they get a chance to deliver. That's what he can do today. This is one of the reasons why Tefelsky is making impact plays. Lou Nichols not suited up for today's
Offside.
game. We found that out late in the
Kicking
week.
team.
He was listed as day-to-day when we talked
5-yard
with
penalty
Coach
will be
Mack
added on to the
earlier this
touchback.
week. But
First down.
now the Luke's injury, Lou Nichols in street clothes, and it's next man up for CMU.
If you're Jake Tefelsky, I mean, all you want is an opportunity. You just said it. And now, could you think of a bigger opportunity? You're at home in a MAC game that has a lot of implications. If Central Michigan wants to have a chance now at a bowl game, they want to have a chance to compete in the MAC, they have to win this ball game. Tefelsky's doing it on a big stage now, and this is your opportunity to make a name for yourself.
See what Bowling Green can do to answer after the 2 penalties set up CMU with great field position. Now Matt McDonald starting from his own 30. Throwing, great crossing route, and caught in the middle of the field, Tyrone Broden. That's 11 yards on the catch. He had a touchdown catch that put Bowling Green up 17-3 at halftime.
Not only is Tyrone Broden 6'7", he also has a 40-inch vertical. I mean, this guy is a freak athlete. Message at halftime, but Scott Leffler went into halftime and said, hey, we may be up 17-3, but this is still a ball game. This thing's not over. Got to keep his guys locked in. They didn't look very locked in on that first drive there for Central Michigan.
Keith running and pounding it into CMU territory to the 45. Gain of 8, first down, Bowling Green. Well, it's nice that Central Michigan had a very productive offensive series. It won't mean much if their defense doesn't, kind of force the issue here and stop this drive. McDonald, they throw to Jamal Johnson in the flat, and he gets taken down. That is a rock-solid stop by Ronald Kent. That's a loss of 1 yard.
That is a really, really good job by Ronald Kent, making a tackle in space. That's it. That's a tough play for a DB to make. 1-on-1, one and island. Does a great job keeping his head up, bringing the guy to the ground. These Kent brothers, Ronald Kent, Dante Kent, really impressive players.
Second down and 11. Those numbers for McDonald are really, really good. McDonald's going to throw and a little bit underthrown. Going for the off shoulder. That was intended for Teron Keith, who's normally not a guy they're going to throw to, but now it's third down. And again, we've seen Central Michigan make big plays and make stops defensively when they've been in these situations.
Another choice for Rob Ackey now, Central Michigan defensive coordinator. Third down and long. Do you bring pressure? Do you play back? This is a big play right here in the ball game. Could get Central Michigan the ball back.
Bowling Green trying to answer the Central Michigan touchdown after the Chippewas got the opening kickoff of the second half.
Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Well, this is the kind of, I hate to be repetitive, but what is there new to add when you're Bowling Green and you're penalized like this?
It's the kind of stuff that kills you and it loses you ball games. Third down and 15. Bad situation to be in. We'll see what Central Michigan dials up on defense here.
McDonald's going to stop and then throw complete. That's to Keith. He's going to turn it back inside. Big yardage after the catch. A first down and a whole bunch more. That's a gain of 26 for Bowling Green, but there is a flag way back in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, they're going to get Cameron Stewart, number 76.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Offense, number 76. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, third down.
Well, eventually we'll get around to building a graphic that will show you just how lopsided the penalties are in favor. Look at the right side of your screen here.
You see the hands to the face right there. They got some penetration on defense. If it wasn't for the hands to the face, that probably would have been a sack. Another penalty for this Bowling Green team.
And another chunk play too. They were out of the woods there. Now it's 3rd and 31. Bowling Green is a little flustered, and McDonald makes a great escape, and he will take a hit and go down at about the 48-yard line. Well, on the plus side, after a gain of 17, they're probably going to be able to put Central Michigan in bad field position.
They really are.
But that was close to being a sack.
That's a big play. They don't get the first down, but it puts them in a position now. This is a field position ball game, right? They're going to punt them now, pin them deep, where if they would have been 17, 20 yards back, or if that sack would have happened, Central Michigan would get the ball back in great field position. So really good job by Matt McDonald getting some yards there and flipping the field a little bit.
Sammy Sir is on to punt. They couldn't down it, and it goes into the end zone. So Central Michigan will have the football. And again, they dodged a bullet, courtesy of Bowling Green penalties. Central Michigan football, they trail by 7 at home to Bowling Green. Roy Kramer and Herb Duromedy. Roy Kramer was a head coach, and so was Duromedy. Kramer had Duromedy as his defensive coordinator. And this is going all the way back to like the 1970s. So the formal dedication came in week 2 when South Alabama was here. But it's Jace Bauer at quarterback now for CMU. Play fake. Little toss the other way. Not well thrown, but caught by Joel Wilson. And again, this is still a delicate scenario, Adam, for Jim McElwain. Obviously, you're going to have to put the football in the air, but maybe taking shots downfield is asking a little bit too much for Jace Bauer right now.
And this is the first drive of the game. Central Michigan's had the same quarterback 2 times in a row, back-to-back drives. It looks like they're going to stick with Bauer throughout this ball game.
Bauer under pressure. Now he's taken down. Well, Bowling Green, again, if you're the defensive coordinator, Eric Lewis, that's a loss of 5 yards. Eric Lewis now is probably rethinking what they want to do philosophically for the Falcons.
whenever you're facing a young quarterback who hasn't played a ton, it's all about pressure. It's just getting them off balance. It's not necessarily about the sack. It's about getting the quarterback to think about the sack on the next few plays and just getting them a little bit rattled. And we got him in a 3rd and long now, a bad situation behind the chains.
3rd and 15. Bauer's going to run up the middle. Let's see if he can get a first down. Oh, he's got a whole bunch more. He might get up inside the 30 to the 25. The biggest run of the day for Central Michigan is delivered by their backup quarterback, 70 yards. And they are now threatening Bowling Green again.
Number 23, Tefelsky, makes his play with the block. And then Bauer does the rest of the work. He's an athletic quarterback, brings that element of the game to this offense in a really good play design and execution dialed up by Paul Petrino.
I got to correct my bad math. 60 yards, not 70. Now it's on the ground. And again, the name that you're going to be hearing a lot more of, Jake Tefelsky, who is the ball carrier. They lost Marion Lukes in the 2nd quarter. And Lou Nichols didn't even suit up, so this is what the CMU run game is right now.
And he brings that part to this game. That was a designed quarterback run the whole way. There was no pass option there. They had the lead blocker with Tefelsky. The lineman sold the pass really well, and just a quarterback draw. And Bauer did a really good job taking that thing down.
Chippewas at the Falcons 23, trying to make it back-to-back score. Sure, down goes Bauer. He's got legs to move the ball for sure, but not enough to get out of that sack opportunity for Bowling Green.
On the defense, 35. Half a distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, another face mask.
Another 15-yard penalty. Number 35, Billy Roberts there, grabbing the face mask. We've seen multiple personal fouls. That's the 11th penalty of the day for Bowling Green. They're just giving this Central Michigan offense free yards, an offense that struggled to move the ball until Bauer has kind of taken some things into his own hands. But we got a ball game now, Dan. We got a ball game.
CMU at the 11, and on the ground, nothing there for Tefelsky. And now the emphasis really, Bowling Green was very comfortable in the first half. It's a loss of 1 yard. Really, now some pressure, too, on Eric Lewis. Hey, look, all these different things now you're seeing from Central Michigan. Your defense has got to figure out a way to make a big play.
And this is exactly what you wanted at halftime for Jim McElwain. These 2 drives, you got to stop on defense. Got some penalties that went for you.
Bauer's going to run. He's going to try and get the edge. And a good hit that stops him by Sims. Another flag flies, but Trent Sims, the free safety from Toledo, makes a good stop on Jace Bauer. But what's the flag?
It's going to be holding on Central Michigan.
Holding. Offense. Number 86. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
86 is the tight end, Marcus Young. Boy, Scott Loeffler his heart races every time he sees a flag go in the air now. This one went against Central Michigan for a change, so the Chips get moved back to the 22-yard line, which compromises their field position. Bauer throwing underneath, complete over the middle. And again, nothing flashy in the CMU passing game. That's Langston Lewis. A gain of 7. Again, the challenge, I think, for Jim McElwain and Paul Petrino for Central Michigan, keep the passing game conservative enough so that Jace can manage it, right?
And that was a great job there by Jace. He wanted to throw that thing down the field so bad. You saw him kind of twitch a little bit in the pocket. He had a post route, but it was going to be a tough throw. Did the easy thing, checked the ball down, got a few yards. Smart play by the young quarterback.
Now Bauer's got to move. And he will run and get knocked out. Howell on the force out after a gain of 7, but it's 4th down, and
He is out of bounds at about the 8-yard
they're going to mark him
line.
out at the 8-yard line.
7-yard gain play, 4th and 7 to go for Central Michigan.
Talk about how big penalties are in the ball game. I mean, that holding penalty, they were close to getting a first down, closest scoring a touchdown. Holding penalty brings them all the way back, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, Central Michigan is really only in this ball game because the Falcons have rolled out a red carpet with all their penalties. 4th and 7. Jim McElwain's going to go for it here. Bauer, bang, down he goes. Ball is loose, and it's picked up and covered. Bowling Green just made a huge play. A guy untouched, and a big breakdown on 4th down. That's Keyshawn Parker.
McDonald is hit in the backfield and fumble on the play, recovered by Bowling Green.
I can't believe they went for that on 4th down.
So they leave 3 points on the table. Let's see how this unfolds.
Going to see them get some pressure here, and it just comes out of his hand. And now it's going to be Bowling Green football when we come back.
Adam, what is the thought process for Jim McElwain going for it on that 4th down play?
I'm not really quite sure what he was thinking. I totally dislike the call. You got a 4th down, and not 4th down and 2, 4th down and 9 from your 9-yard line, have to score. Okay, you have all the momentum in the ball game. Your defense got to stop. A field goal makes it a 4-point game. Your kicker had already made a 52-yarder, so that's a lock for a field goal. I mean, you got to keep the momentum in that place, and now the momentum is back with Bowling Green.
Jason Patterson.
Patterson is the ball carrier. Now the pressure is on the Falcons they got to settle down. I mean, hey, bad call or bad execution on that play or not, still a 1-score game. Central Michigan still feels like they're in striking distance here, and Bowling Green's got to clean up their act penalty-wise, and they got to start moving the football.
And they got to be better on 1st down. They're 2nd down and 8 here. You got to be getting 4 or 5 yards on 1st down because it keeps you in front of the chains, and then you get 3rd down in short situations.
McDonald's got some time. Now he throws it underneath the catch to the tight end, and that's to Andrew Bench. Bench goes big, 6'5", 250 pounds. He kind of gets lost behind Christian Sims and Harold Fannin, but McDonald loves having those big targets to throw to, and I know you tight ends, you want every ball you can get, right?
I was begging for the ball. I used to tell my quarterback there, and I said, there's a few guarantees in life. Death, taxes, and I'm always open.
3rd down and 6. McDonald fires it. Oh, he had to reach back to catch it. And catch it, he did. Great grab for Bowling Green by Kavan Kroom. Again, not a perfectly thrown ball, but Kroom reaching back to make the catch and get Bowling Green a 1st down.
Incredible catch by Kroom here. The ball's behind him. Not a good throw at all. You see him stick his hands out behind him. That's a tough play to make as a receiver. You got to flip your hips around, get your hands around, and then secure it through contact. Big time play by Kavan Kroom.
Oh, and Central Michigan thought they had the run stopped on Patterson, but he's able to spring free and get some yardage. That's a gain of 5. Could have been a big loss.
Now we'll see if the Central Michigan D-line can get home to the quarterback again. They've had 5 sacks today. McDonald's been on the ground a lot, and he's the kind of quarterback. The last couple years at Bowling Green, he was getting hit a ton, was just taking a beating, and he wasn't playing as well. When he starts to get some pressure in his face, he drops off, as all quarterbacks do. They got to get some pressure on him this drive.
False start coming against Bowling Green.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
You think Scott Leffler's frustrated?
I can't imagine where his blood pressure's at right now. If there's anybody in the stadium that has blood pressure medication for him to take,
run it down
send
to
it down
Leffler.
there. Exactly. they're back out to the 35. McDonald, they're going to set up the screen. No way. Central Michigan's front comes up big. And Jason, that's a loss of 12 yards. Wow, Williams coming in hot.
They're trying to set up a screen pass here, and it just never materializes. It looks like a busted play. The running back ran a swing route to the right. It looked like he was supposed to run a screen to the middle of the field. Nothing was there. He had no one to throw the ball to. And what you can't do on a screen is take a sack, because the quarterback's also dropping back more than he normally does. It becomes a 12-yard loss.
So third down and 22. And we'll blow this play dead too.
Play of game. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty.
You know, my blood pressure isn't rising like Scott Leffler's at him, but I am getting a little annoyed. I'll just put that out there for everybody.
It's really remarkable. I don't know what's going on, if it's a communication issue. You got a veteran quarterback, Matt McDonald. You've got a guy calling the plays, and Scott Leffler, who's been around a long time. This offense isn't a new set of guys. I mean, they just are making so many procedural mistakes.
Third and 37. They're going to run. Johnson will carry, but you know they're not really thinking first down with the long run on there. That's 14 yards for Johnson, but all it does is bring out Bowling Green's punting unit.
The Central Michigan defense deserves credit. I mean, to now get another stop, give your offense the ball back. They've been making big plays today. And just think about it. They would have kicked that field goal. They'd be sitting right now 17-13, feeling pretty good getting the ball back. But defense does a good job getting a stop. It's called complementary football. When your offense can't get it done, your defense has to step up and have their back.
Ooh, dangerous catch. Ball is loose. I think Bowling Green's got it. And the Falcons have got it. A mistake on special teams. And a ball recovered. Jesse Pruitt makes the drop. And man, I'll tell you what, you hate to see teams and players make plays that hurt themselves. Charles Rosser is right there to make the cover.
What a critical mistake in the ball game. Again, you're getting the ball back on offense. Defense got a big stop. Got to have confidence and get underneath that ball. You saw the returner, number 81, stick his hands out, not getting his body underneath it. That's just bad technique.
The ball stays with Bowling Green. Let's see what they run on first down. That's Patterson. He powers his way inside the 20 for a gain of 9. It's the challenge too, Adam, and you know this as a former player. All the reps in practice, all the things that a coach tries to work on with his team. So many things can be undone when you make a mental mistake like that. Bowling Green's made mental mistakes that have been penalties, but that mental mistake is going to cost Bowling Green or cost CMU quite a bit. End of our third quarter. Central Michigan trying to hang in there on Bowling Green. It's a 17-10 road lead for the Falcons when our fourth quarter begins when we come back. Central Michigan trying to claw their way back in this game, but making mistakes is not going to help their cause for sure. Again, they're stretched thin at running back, and a turnover like a fumbled punt that's recovered by Bowling Green sets up the Falcons very nicely. McDonald under duress. Misses one tackler. Now he just unloads it and avoids the sack, and there's a flag where he threw the ball.
They're going to get roughing the passer, I think, here.
There's a penalty marker on the play.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 22. Half the distance to the goal. The automatic first down.
That's on Kyle Moretti. He made some big plays early. That one's not going to help the CMU push.
See number 22 here, Moretti, hitting him after he threw the ball.
Close.
It's close, man.
I think if you don't extend your arms, you might be okay.
You just got to know that in these types of ball games, they protect the quarterbacks.
So the Falcons are at the 9, and Patterson tries to get the far edge, and he's taken down at about the 6.
Patterson, the ball carrier. Tackled on the play by Central Michigan's Nick Apsey.
Nick Apsey on the stop for CMU.
Things have kind of flipped a little bit. We talked about Bowling Green just shooting themselves in the foot, mistake after mistake, and then you got Central Michigan doing it right back, dropping the punt, which was a big turnover, not converting on the 4th down in the red zone, and then the 15-yard penalty to give Bowling Green the ball on the 5.
So 3 yards on that pickup. Now it's Fannin. Again, they love to get him that ball in some unexpected places, so he's going to push inside the 5 down to about the 2.
I mean, is Fannin a running back? Is he a tight end? Is he a fullback? I'm not sure what he plays because they use him at every spot possible. And I would too if I had Fannin on my team at 6'5", 230 pounds. I just can't figure out how they got him to Bowling Green. How do you have no other offers? This kid's a freak.
And they call the trend now is to call them like a unicorn, right?
Yeah. There he is on the left side of the screen.
Let's see what they do here in McDonald. They're going to go to Patterson, who pounds inside, and he is maybe down to the 1-yard line. Bowling Green got some good blocking inside, but
on the stop for Central Michigan.
now
Short. It's 4th down.
Bowling Green's going to bring out their special teams unit. They're going to go the safe route and go for the field goal. And again, we're going to wonder now, as this 4th quarter plays out, Central Michigan's decision to go for it on 4th down when they could have just kicked a field goal and been down just 4 points. Now they would be down a full score. Just a 19-yard field goal attempt here by Mason Lawler. And that's a no doubt about it make to put the Falcons up 10. 20-10 is our 4th quarter score. Bowling Green leading at CMU. They still have not really put this game out of reach from us yet. So, just hang in there a little bit longer. Remember the adversity that they showed last week at Akron, hanging around, just stay in the game, keep fighting. That's what he's probably hoping for as this 4th quarter plays out.
Exactly. He's saying we've been in this situation many times. We've been down in the second half. They've been so bad in the first half through their 7 games that they've been down a lot and have mounted these comebacks before.
And sometimes those fluky plays, Thomas Incoom with the scoop up, touchdown run, you never know when those plays are going to happen. So, keep hanging in there, even though things are certainly not going according to script for Central Michigan, losing their key running backs and changing quarterbacks today. It's been a whole mishmash of different things for CMU.
You mentioned the scoop and score Incoom had last week. There's an old saying on defense, good things happen when you're around the football. You just happen to fall into these opportunities, and Central Michigan will need one of these opportunities in this 4th quarter.
Chase Bauer has been at quarterback for CMU this second half. He'll roll, and now he'll just run ahead. Good decision. They love his mobility. That's a gain of 7. That dimension that he adds is why he's on the field right now, and Daniel Richardson is not.
That's the 3rd or 4th time they've run that play action. He sprints out to his right. He's got 3 receivers down the field. Bowling Green's covered it up, but the one part they can't stop is Bauer using his legs. He's a good athlete. Again, can get those first downs, can get some yardage running the football.
And they throw and they complete. Man, I'll tell you what, he is all in on his tight end. That's Joel Wilson.
He put that ball only where Joel Wilson could catch it. He had a linebacker in front of him. You're going to see Joel Wilson right here, middle of the screen. He could only put that thing behind him. Great throw by Jace Bauer, finding his big friendly target.
That's 18 yards. DJ Taylor makes the tackle, but they're at midfield. Now they're going to run, and look who's out there on the field for CMU. The Javion Stepney, who was returning kicks. We had a flag thrown after an 8-yard gain.
Holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
Well, you hate it when your tight end holds. I guess tight ends are not perfect players, right? Marcus Young on that flag for holding it. It moves CMU back, but again, this is what it's come to in the run game for Central Michigan, moving to Javion Stepney, who's a defensive back, and they're putting him in the backfield now.
We go back. What do you mean tight ends aren't perfect? I'm still thinking
I
about that comment.
I knew it would take you a minute to catch up to that.
I was still thinking about it.
Yeah. 1st and 20, and flags are flying, and a great run by Stepney. Little shake and bake move. Probably is coming back, but boy, he makes it look good. Inside the 40, that's a gain of 20. Well, you need some spark in your run game. Well, that guy's going to give it to you.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Well, Central Michigan may be trying to make some inroads and catching up to Bowling Green with penalties today.
They're just killing themselves. That's just an alignment penalty. You can't have too many guys in the backfield. That's one guy being on the line of scrimmage, one guy being off. It's just miscommunication and stuff that shouldn't happen at this level of football. I'll tell you what, though, Stepney's brought them a nice little spark in the run game. He played running back last year. They moved him to safety when they had some safety issues and depth problems in the secondary. But he's no stranger to the offensive backfield.
Bowling Green has to react on the fly now to all these personnel decisions. Looks like the Falcons just jumped up front, but we'll get some confirmation on that.
And Jim McElwain is heated on the sideline, saying that the defense is calling out signals.
Delay of game. Defense. Disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So explain what that means in layman's terms.
So it looks like the tight end jumps off sides. What's happening, though, is the defensive line is either clapping to simulate what the offense is doing and pretending they're snapping the ball, or the defensive line is saying, "Set hut," pretending to be the quarterback, which makes the offensive line jump. That's a penalty. You can't do.
So they're at the 40. Now on the run. Oh, good move. He gets positive yardage again. Bauer able to get a little extra after the first hit. That's a gain of 6.
You don't see that call all that often in football. You know, it takes some guts from the defensive line to try to mock signals and try to get the offensive line to jump off sides.
So 2nd down and 14. Chips are operating from their own 46, and movement on the line. Boy, we are in a penalty zone right now for both of these teams.
I think they're going to call the same thing again on Bowling Green. They're going to call him for the signal issue.
Oh boy, Scott Loeffler. The officials are talking to the players directly. Not quite sure how this will.
So sometimes what defenses do is, let's hear with the referee.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
What defenses will do sometimes is right before the quarterback's about to snap the ball or say set hut, they'll shift their defensive line to try to get the offensive line to jump. That's not a penalty. What is if you start yelling out set hut or start making a noise that simulates the signal the quarterback is doing. So no one really knows what's going on up there. Everyone's barking at each other. They call that one a false start.
Tempers are hot for sure. 2nd and 19. Bauer throwing, caught in the middle. Flags behind the receiver. Catch there by Jerome Jackson. That's a gain of 10, but again, another flag is thrown.
Holding. Defense, number 8. A 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, these coaches are going to have so much material to work with in the film room this week on what needs to be cleaned up.
You see Bauer there, stand in the pocket, it's collapsing around him. He steps up like a veteran quarterback does, keeps his eyes downfield, delivers a throw.
And the Chippewas get a first down. They're into BG territory. Down 2 scores. They've been trying to come back from the opening kickoff. Now Bauer's got to run, and he stays up. Oh, he gets popped. The ball's in the air, and it is dropped. That would have been a tough catch, though. CMU with Langston Lewis tried to haul that in, but I'll tell you, that was a wicked hit. Daniel Richardson, Jace Bauer, of course, is the one that gets the hit, but
it's a clean hit, and Bauer does a good job escaping the pocket here, keeping the play alive. Man, he gets rocked. We're going to step aside. It's a 20-10 ball game at Kelly Short Stadium.
so Central Michigan's offensive personnel has gone back and forth like a windshield wiper. Here's the play that is going to put Jace Bauer on the sidelines for at least a play or two. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him, but nevertheless, that will roll Daniel Richardson back into quarterback. And they'll throw off target, incomplete. And again, the target, Langston Lewis. And there's the numbers for Jace Bauer. The rushing yardage is great. Of course, a 60-yard run inflated that quite a bit, but numbers don't lie. 3rd and 10.
Bringing some pressure here, Bowling Green.
Richardson jammed up in the middle. Ball is loose. It is picked up. And here comes Bowling Green, Demetrius Hardiman. He will go. Touchdown. Falcons. No flags. 37-yard fumble return. A scoop and score. And Bowling Green has made a big statement to put this game out of reach.
Demetrius Hardiman getting the ball in the hands. You're going to see on the left side of your screen here. Oh, it's going to be the defensive end comes in and Hardiman scoops it up. Great job by the defensive end there attacking the football. On defense, they always say sack the ball, not the player. Go after the football. He gets his left hand on it. Hardiman takes it to the house. He's probably smiling on the sideline right now. The big boy gets to touch the football.
PAT is good. And let's take a look at the score going to break. Again, it's the defensive pressure, Adam, that makes the difference.
They get home when they need it to the most. Results in a touchdown, and Bowling Green is rolling. Carl Brooks, maybe the best defensive player on the field today, was the one that got home on that strip sack, got his left hand in there, and then let his fellow pass rusher Hardiman do the rest of the work. I'm not sure which one's better as a defensive line. Would you rather get the strip sack or rather get the touchdown running into the end zone?
You know, the guy who makes the strip sack has less running. You know, that's one way to think about it. But Hardiman, that's a nice 1-2 punch. The strip sack and the return for the score. And Central Michigan will not return this kick. So here's how it unfolded again with Carl Brooks. You know there's one guy that's going to make impact plays. It's probably him.
He's on the edge on the right there. He just bull rushes, gets his left hand in there. Man, he is so strong and athletic and quick around the edge. Hardiman does a great job being around the football. You know, we said it earlier, good things happen when you're around the ball. Hardiman was right there, scooped it up. And this game, I mean, just a few minutes ago, Dan, we were talking about Central Michigan coming back. They had a 4th down 7 points, decided to go for it on 4th and 7 instead of kick the field goal. And this thing's now just about out of hand.
Well, Jace Bauer has been cleared to come back in, so the hard hit he took, not as significant. Now they'll throw, and they will catch and complete. Not an easy throw or catch, but that's Iron Jackson. First down, CMU. Gain of 12. Again, the Chips have not been aggressive in the passing game. Again, the back and forth between the quarterbacks, Daniel Richardson and Jace Bauer, probably doesn't make that likely, but they strike big there on first down. Bauer, safe throw, but incomplete.
You know, Dan, you try not to make bold predictions in these kind of situations, but this offense has looked so much better with Chase Bauer at quarterback. I mean, they've actually completed some throws. He can run the ball, gives him that new dimension. You know, the throw he made on first down there, that was a tough, I mean, we're talking a 20-yard throw across the field, hash to sideline. This guy, he's impressive for a redshirt freshman that hasn't played much college football.
Jake Tufelski had the drop for CMU, 2nd and 10. And now they throw in the middle. Ooh, good ankle tackle there. Complete. It's to Javion Stepney on the grab. Stepney's a special player, but he could not get away from the ankle tackle, a gain of 2.
And the hard part for Central Michigan, with all these injuries they have, Lou Nichols, the running backs, I mean, all the receivers that are out, it doesn't get any easier in November. I mean, we're talking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night games. You're playing on short weeks. I mean, it's tough football. It's going to be cold out. That's not the time you don't want to have depth at those positions.
Bauer throwing. Caught on that far side and forced out of bounds. Tyrone Jackson. That's a gain of 4, but Central Michigan short of a first down now. So 4th down for Central Michigan. They're going to have to go for it here. They were within a score. They went for it on a 4th down when they were in the red zone instead of taking a field goal. And Bowling Green has been able to put this game in their grasp since then. Throwing and completing on 4th down. It's the tight end, of course, Joel Wilson. He's the moneymaker in the passing game. A gain of 10. Chippewas get the first down, Adam.
Have a day, Joel Wilson. Put the big tight end out at wide receiver, doing things that big tight ends don't normally do. We're talking about a guy who was number 1 in the country in receptions by a tight end just a couple weeks ago. Had a couple down weeks, but he's been impressive today. And on offense for Central Michigan, Carlos Carrier hasn't touched the ball yet today. Their top playmaker. He's been a little bit banged up, but he's going to have to make some plays here if we're going to come back.
Bauer on the run, and he will avoid the contact and get out of bounds. Pick up a few yards, gain of 2. And he stops the clock. Well, at this point for Central Michigan, at this point of the game, it's hard to think you're in a position to win, but you got to start putting some things together offensively, and ending this game with a good offensive performance is especially important for Chase Bauer because he's established himself as a quarterback that can do things going forward.
I think you can go into this week of practice knowing that you've got a solution at quarterback. You feel a little bit better. I would think that Bauer is going to start next week. I mean, he's looked pretty good.
So the flag will probably be some pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 10. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's on Jordan Oladokin.
Oladokin just reaches across a little bit early. The reason they call that is the left hand reaching around and grabbing. Just makes contact a little bit too soon.
So Central Michigan still moving the football at the Falcons' 30-yard line, trailing by 17. Bauer's going to run, get the edge, and then just comfortably step out of bounds for a gain of 6.
If you're Scott Loeffler in Bowling Green, you have 16 penalties on the day. The good news is you're finding a way to win the game and really dominate the game despite all the mistakes you've had. I mean, there's been many opportunities to hand this thing away to Central Michigan, and they've found a way to keep battling. But going into this next week, you have to clean up the penalties. You're not going to win many games in November in action with 16 penalties.
Bauer throwing, far side complete. Tufelski stays up inside the 10. Central Michigan not ready to pack it in. Jake Tufelski on the catch, a gain of 16.
Bauer has done a great job just working through his progressions. He works right to left there, stands in the pocket, delivers a strike to his running back down the sideline.
First and goal from the 8. Central Michigan showing some grit offensively. Throwing, end zone incomplete. Good coverage there by Oladokun. Lewis was the intended target there. And what do you like about the way that Jace is throwing the ball, Adam?
He's making throws all over the field. Even that throw right there, that thing's a dart. The defensive back, Oladokun, makes a great play with his right arm getting it in there, but he's being aggressive with the football, but taking care of it, and he's throwing the ball all across the field. He's got really good arm strength.
End zone, caught, touchdown, CMU. The tight end, Joel Wilson from 8 yards out.
Speaking of great throws.
Did that cannon just scare you?
Did you see me jump there?
Yeah, a little bit. That's why I want to let our viewers know. There we go.
I'm shaking in my boots over here.
So Joel Wilson makes the grab from 8 yards out. And again, it's a polished passing game with CMU's Jace Bauer right now.
Again, he stands in the pocket, delivers a strike, looks off the linebacker, finds the hole to get Joel Wilson the football. He's making plays and standing in there like a veteran quarterback despite hardly playing any college football until today.
So it's, still a meaningful ball game for Central Michigan. 6 minutes left. And the Chippewas are making it a little bit more difficult on Bowling Green to put this game away. Boy, hard to imagine. When Daniel Richardson came back in at quarterback, he gets sacked. The fumble gets returned for a touchdown. And it's still a ball game at that point, but Bowling Green went with the lead there. We're back with more fourth quarter football in Mount Pleasant in just a moment. 2-point conversion successful for Central Michigan. We will address the issue of why they went for 2, but Carlos Carrier makes the reception in the back of the end zone, and now it is a 9-point game. Well, I haven't asked you yet, Adam. Are you an analytics guy or an old school guy? Why does CMU go for 2 here?
Yeah, I'm certainly an analytics guy. It's the way the whole game is trending. And the reasoning behind it is the analytics tell you when you're down by this many points with only 6 minutes left in the game, your winning percentage goes up when you're now down by 9 instead of down by 10. Down by 10, a touchdown field goal ties the game. Now a touchdown field goal will win it for you. And basically, the analytics are telling you that taking it to overtime with a touchdown field goal isn't your best situation. Your best situation is to go for 2 right now, because then if you don't get it, 2 touchdowns still wins you the game. So it's just a numbers game depending on what's your win percentage with a certain score margin with a certain time in the game. That's all it really is.
Well, Central Michigan now with just over 6 minutes, they're going to go onside kick, and ball is caught, dropped, recovered. Bowling Green has it. Oh my goodness, that ball was right there on the table for Central Michigan to grab, and they couldn't secure it. The Falcons recover it.
That's exactly how you want to execute an onside kick. Got a big hit on the Bowling Green player that called it, but couldn't haul it in. Good kick.
So obviously you want to get that big hop. And that hop changes the way that play unfolds, and it was very close for Central Michigan, but now Falcons have the football, and they'll try to burn some clock here with a 9-point lead here at Central Michigan. Patterson up the middle for big yardage. First down pickup, and he'll just keep plowing. You saw that frequently the last few weeks for Bowling Green, a 14-yard gain. This is the time when you lean into a running back like him to just kind of take the wind out of CMU's sails, right?
Yeah, as well as Matt McDonald's played, this is now the time. You tell your offensive line, we got to bow up and win this football game on our terms. Let's milk the clock on this whole drive here. They call it the 4-minute drive, meaning you got to eat 4+ minutes of clock on one drive and just get first down after first down.
I think Scott Loeffler's blood pressure is now trending back to normal because we've gone several series without any BG penalties. Patterson again. That time he just pounds it inside, but 2-yard gain, but the clock rolls. Nope, stops there. Timeout, Central Michigan. And the bad predicament that Central Michigan is in right now, Adam, Bowling Green's not going to take any chances offensively, so that aggressive defense that Rob Akey has, kind of been using this game is not really there to exploit right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to load the box on defense, try to get a stop and get a punt, get the ball back. But if Bowling Green gets a first down here, this game is effectively just about over. They can still get the ball back with some time left, but a first down basically ends it.
Let's take a look at some other scores as the Mid-American Conference continues to play out. Buffalo and Toledo, that's the kind of the prime cut game of the week with those two unbeaten teams, and Buffalo has rallied back. Eastern Michigan leading at Ball State, and Kent State leading Akron by 6. On the ground, Patterson tries to get the edge. That's a loss of 1 yard. Another timeout taken by CMU. They're going to put all their eggs in the basket now of trying to stop the clock or slow the game clock down and get the ball back. And let's flash forward to what's coming up on the MAC schedule on the ESPN family of networks continuing in the weeks ahead. We've got games next Saturday, Toledo at Eastern Michigan, Miami of Ohio at Akron. That's on ESPN Plus. And then, of course, November becomes midweek action with two games on Tuesday, November 1st, and Wednesday, November 2nd. So if you're looking for midweek action, it's coming.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Won't be as nice weather-wise as we have today, but it's a little nastier up here in the Midwest. 3rd down and 9, and the Falcons keep it on the ground, and they're content to let Central Michigan burn their 3rd timeout. So Scott Loeffler is going to put the ball. Well, this can't be a field goal opportunity, I wouldn't think. You don't love your kicker that much.
Yeah, I think they're just going to punt it, give them the ball back with 5 minutes left, and see if they can score 9 points. But, Dan, you got to feel good if you're Scott Loeffler about your offense and what they did today. Your best players have played really well. Matt McDonald has taken care of the football. 222 yards passing today, no interceptions. O.J. Hilaire came to play, 100 yards receiving. Patterson has had a great game running the football. A lot of coaches always saying it sounds so simple, but you need your best players to play the best all the time, and that's the difference in ball games.
So Falcons want to make sure they're drawing up the right play here. 4th down and 5. And again, let's kind of reset where this game started. Bowling Green came out, scored on their opening drive. Central Michigan understaffed in the run game. And then when they lost Marion Lukes in the second quarter, they were deeper in the quicksand. But the second half, they switched the quarterback shuffle and went exclusively with Jace Bauer for the most part. And Bauer's been able to move the ball effectively for Central Michigan. So Chippewas haven't had a whole lot to beat their chest about, but Jace Bauer has been an impactful player for CMU. And instead of punting, Bowling Green's got their traditional offense on the field. Maybe trying to draw them off sides.
I think they're snapping this.
No.
Take a delay of game.
Yeah. McDonald's trying to sell it, but Central Michigan's not buying.
Delay of game. Offense. Number 3. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So the reasoning there is you want to give your punter more room to punt the football. So you take the delay of game, move it back, and give your punter, in a more favorable range, so he's not having to kick a short punt to try to pin him between inside the 5-yard line. Central Michigan, they got to figure it out on offense. I mean, going into November action, 200-some yards on offense today. You got to be more efficient. They got to run the football better. So many things they got to clean up, but at least Jace Bauer gave them a little bit of hope in the second half.
Oh, the ball takes a nice hop for Bowling Green, stays out of the end zone, and the Falcons down it at the 4 for a 37-yard punt. So that all plays well for Scott Loeffler. CMU football trailing by 9 with 5 minutes left. Well, the Chippewas have made some significant strides offensively in this second half, but they're going to have to put their foot on the gas a little bit harder now with 5 minutes left.
Hey, Jace Bauer, you want to guarantee yourself you're the starting quarterback at Central Michigan? Go score a touchdown on this drive right here. I guarantee you're the starting quarterback the rest of the year. This is not a great situation to be in, but those are the moments you want as a quarterback. You're down, you're throwing the football every single play here, no timeouts. I mean, go make something happen.
From the 4-yard line, Bauer will throw on the run, and it is caught. Did he catch it in bounds? Looking for the carrier was the receiver, and it counts. It's a first down, a gain of 18, and it gives the Chippewas cushion on offense.
An incredible throw. Rolling out to his right, off one foot, puts it literally where only carrier could catch it.
Pocket. Oh, man. That pocket collapsed in every way possible on Jace Bauer. And that's a loss of 9. Carl Brooks is in the midst of most every significant play defensively for Bowling Green.
He is so darn good coming off that edge. They do a lot of unique stuff with him. They'll stand him up. You see him right here on the right side standing up at DN.
Quarterback keep. Bauer gets some of it back. Central Michigan gets the ball outside the 25 for a gain of 13.
Got to hurry up and snap this thing here.
Again, Central Michigan burned through all their timeouts trying to slow down the Falcons on the last series. So you can see the sack machine is running at a very high level today for the Falcons. A little pass caught in space. Oh man, did he throw a strike to Carlos Carrier and a flag at the point of the tackle.
Should I say it again, Dan? I mean, that throw is incredible. He is just placing the ball in there.
Talk about a small window.
Great catch by Carrier as well. I mean, we mentioned him, how he hadn't made any plays, and he's made like 4 since I made that comment. So
yeah, that's what I have right.
Ruling in the field is completed catch. Personal foul targeting defense number 8. That play is under further review.
So that's on Javarius Sims. Oh, correction. The safety, Trent Sims. The free safety. Yeah. to the naked eye, that's helmet on helmet, defenseless receiver.
Yeah, that one's going to hold up, I think.
And there's the rules of the road for targeting.
Forget the targeting for a second. Let's go back to that throw and catch. I'm just really amazed by the throws that Bauer is making. I mean, to the naked eye, to someone just watching, like, you don't notice that as a big time throw, but to stand in the pocket, deliver that thing with touch over the backers and put it at the perfect spot.
After review, the ruling of targeting is reversed. It'll be first down.
Okay, so no targeting. Let's take one more look at this. And that ball's so high up in the air. That's kind of a ball that BG can maybe go up and get, but again, it was the placement by Jace Bauer putting that ball at the right spot. So the Chippewas are at their own 48 after the no targeting call. Bauer rolling out, looking for a blocker downfield, and he stays up and gets taken down. CMU fans want a face mask. They don't get it, but they get a first down. They'll take that. A 14-yard gain. Yeah, he didn't get face mask. From the 38, now the ball is picked off. Ball is in the air and it's intercepted. Bowling Green able to cover it. And now tackled from behind. Walter Hare was the one who caught the ball as it was just kind of hanging there in the air.
Bauer got hit as he was throwing the football.
So the ball was, it was very easy to lose track of the ball. Let's see where it is here.
See, he gets hit as he's about to throw it. It goes off the offensive lineman's back.
Oh.
Look at his right hand, pinning it against his back. He one-hands that thing, pulls it across.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Wow. What a play by the big fella, Walter Hare.
Central Michigan now has 4 turnovers to Bowling Green 0. You'll never see a pick like that.
This may be a top 10 play. Pins it against the back. Never brings his other hand into it to secure it. Keeps it on his right hand the entire time.
Well, the wide receivers will say that's a bad catch. Defensive coordinator will say that's a great catch.
I've never seen something like that.
Just the fact that he got his hand on the ball in exactly the right spot to hold it against the guy, and then had the presence of mind to pull it in.
The hand strength that takes to just keep it in the right hand the entire time. I mean, Walter Hare, though, he's a big boy, 6'3", 275, and he's a freak athlete.
And he's got some serious hand strength.
Yeah.
So Bowling Green's going to stay conservative, and again, Central Michigan has tapped out all of their timeouts. So they have no way to stop the clock.
Here it is again. You see him get the ball out. Hit it right against the offensive lineman's back. Plays with it in the hand a little bit. You see him moving his fingers around and just grabs it. And then the run. Look at the big fella.
Got a block.
He got some blockers. The guys in front of him. Oh, good ball
behind,
security, too. Good ball
right.
security. He's probably taking that ball home with him. Game ball.
Yeah. He certainly earned it on that play. 3rd and 8. Falcons stay on the ground. Dyson Patterson for a gain of 3. And again, they are ready to put this game out of reach. It was 17-3 at the half in favor of Bowling Green. Central Michigan got some momentum with the quarterback change to Jace Bauer. They made it 17-10, but the decision to go for it on 4th down when they were within field goal distance, they come up empty, And that kind of pivoted the game back in favor of Bowling Green.
There's been so many plays we can point to where Central Michigan had opportunities, where Bowling Green made some plays. This thing could have gone a million different ways, but Bowling Green's defense stepped up today. I mean, holding Central Michigan to 100 yards rushing and having those turnovers, those big-time plays. Listening to Walter Hare, who just had that interception, talk this week in his press conference, he said, we have a standard in our defensive line room, and we haven't been playing up to it. And he challenged all the guys in the room. There's a standard, and if you can't play up to it, then leave. Go somewhere else, play up to our standard, and we'll win a lot of football games. And I'll tell you what, Walter Hare is not only playing up to the standard, he's setting the standard on defense along with Carl Brooks.
Bowling Green is 1 minute away from putting up back-to-back wins. And again, for Scott Loeffler, this is a program that's still learning, still growing, looking for stability and consistency. And certainly things were all wrong a couple weeks ago, but now it looks like they're going to have back-to-back wins. And McDonald's going to take a deep throw, end zone, and flag on the play. That ball is caught. They have not signaled touchdown though. So let's see how this unpacks for
Pass
Bowling
interference,
Green.
defense, number 4. That penalty's declined. Result per play, touchdown.
So Bowling Green airs it out.
On 4th down, Scott Loeffler decides, let's end this game right here, and McDonald with an absolute dime.
That is one exceptional catch. Jalen Embry. And Bowling Green is going to get the PAT. And the PAT is good. Tyron Bowden is the one on the touchdown reception. Correction on that. So using his length.
Now, if you're Scott Loeffler, going into November MAC play, you got to figure out how to run the football better. As we take a look here, Matt McDonald, he was going there the whole time. Had his big, tall receiver, Tyrone Broden, 6'7", gives him a chance on 4th down, and they said this ball game is over.
So 33-18 as we look at the scoring drive. 4 plays, 36 yards, under 2 minutes. And McDonald's going to have a feel-good afternoon and a feel-good ride back for Bowling Green.
Back to Bowling Green and kind of going into November now in the tough part of the MAC schedule. Again, you have your quarterback, Matt McDonald. You believe in him. He can manage the game. He can make all the throws across the field. You got to run the football a little bit better. You probably got to get to like 150, 170 a game running the football in November MAC play, but you got to feel great about your defensive line, your defense as a whole, and what they can do now.
Yeah, the only thing you can really ask for, I think, is you want to be playing better football each week as you go forward. For Central Michigan, the deck was really stacked against them today because they were stretched so thin at running back. They were alternating quarterbacks in the first half on each series, and in the second half it was Jace Bauer who really established himself as a legitimate player, but the Chippewas have got to hope they can get healthy and try to kind of reconnect this season as they head into the last week of October. Little toss, complete in space. And again, Jake Tefelsky is the one that's kind of been pressed into action after the injury to Marion Lukes in the second quarter. That's a gain of 6.
And the thing that Central Michigan struggled with so much, you look at their stat sheet, team stats through the first 7 games, they're not bad in most categories. Where they're the worst is turnover margin. They turn the ball over, and they don't create turnovers on defense. That's the thing that you got to improve upon. You can't be turning the football over, and you got to create some plays for your defense. You got to steal a couple possessions and try to be opportunistic as a defensive secondary. They just haven't done it so far this season. You're not going to win a lot of football games when you lose a turnover margin.
Carlos Carrier makes that catch for 14 yards. And they go to the same spot. Ball is knocked in the air. Carrier was the intended target. Deshaun Jones was right there to break it up.
And I do think, Dan, we'll see Jace Bauer start the rest of at least next week for Central Michigan. I think he's proven today that he's the guy that can move this offense down the field. He can make all the throws. I've said it. I've been so impressed with him and his maturity and how he stood in the pocket.
Crossing route in the middle. That's complete to Finn Hogan. And again, it's been Bauer's legs that have really sparked CMU, but he sees comfortable throwing too as well.
And in today's college football, you really want a guy that can do both, right? You want to be able to use him as a threat in the run game when you have to, just like Bowling Green. You see them. Matt McDonald's not going to wow you with his legs, but they run speed option with him. They're rolling him out, running the football. And again, you got to feel good if you're Bowling Green, going on the road and getting a big win in MAC play.
That's Stefelski on that catch, and one more snap for Central Michigan, and we'll wrap this game up. And that'll do it. Central Michigan was playing from behind all day, and now the Falcons reestablish themselves as strong teams that come to CMU and can win games, as Scott Loeffler exchanges conversation with Jim McElwain, and
That's just not how I do business, because I love you.
they will say goodbye to each other. Final score 34-18. Adam, some final thoughts from you on this game.
Central Michigan, you got to take advantage of opportunities. You had a couple chances there to kick a field goal, to get a couple first downs, make some plays. They came up empty. And then Scott Loeffler and Bowling Green, you got to be feeling really good saying, we have a good football team. We have all the pieces we need to make a run in November. We can beat anyone in this conference. I think this Bowling Green team has a ton of confidence going into the tough part of their schedule.
For Adam Bredeman, our producer Gary Nicholas, director John Coleman, and our entire crew from Mount Pleasant, I'm Dan Gutowski. We say so long from Central Michigan. Final score 34-18. The Falcons knock off the Chippewas. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Enjoy the rest of your college football Saturday.